We were just out for a walk along the river and we found a dragon. Hi, Michelle here from Travelling Over 60. Come join me on this adventure. In our last video, I showed you our day in Hawaii. Well, our day's not over yet. We're about to do a river cruise and then a good night's sleep, back to the airport, and we're off to Hanoi. A quick reminder on what the weather's been like. Today has been hot. We got up to 36 degrees. It's starting to cool now, but it's still hot. We're off on the Moon River cruise. Now it's 4:30 in the afternoon, so this is an afternoon tea, and it's a high tea. Let's take a look.
Too close to the car.
So our river cruise leaves from just down the road from our hotel, so we're able to walk there. If you watch my tour of the hotel and around the area, all I did was cross the road where the ATMs were and turned my video on. So this is how far it was to walk. Okay, here we go again. I'm about to step onto another boat. You know how I hate that. But just taking a look at it here, we will be stepping off a dock onto the boat, but it's still over the water. Phew, I made it. And isn't this a lovely spread? Now, of course, there's some savoury and definitely some sweet.
Get out of my photo.
We all take our seats and, of course, a group photo. But let's take a closer look at the food. Here's the savoury. And then check out the sweet. Now, the food was delicious, and I know it's not dinner, but I certainly won't be needing any dinner after this. Okay, enough about the food. I can see that the sun is starting to set, so I'm going to step outside to see if I can get some shots. But not before we take a selfie. Now there's plenty to see as we're cruising along. Lots of interesting things, and I can see that sun is setting. Oh, and if you look in the distance there behind those trees, we can see the Buddhist monastery we went to this morning. And from this angle, we can definitely see how high that pagoda is. Yep, tallest in Vietnam. And it was so nice to see all the locals out around the water's edge, enjoying the cool of the night, and even out on the water. Now, as I said, I wanted to go out and capture some photos of the sun setting. What I will say to you, though, is the sun set really quickly, but it was perfect timing to just be able to enjoy the company of our newfound friends and the cool of the night, although it's still really hot here, but it has cooled down quite a bit. Okay, we're making our way back to where we got on the boat, and we start talking to some of our fellow travellers to see what everyone's going to do, because the night's still early. Now, dinner wasn't included in our itinerary for today, so some are going looking for a place to have something to eat, some are just going back to the hotel to relax, and for us, we decided we didn't want dinner and we're just going to go and walk along the water's edge. And look what we discovered when we were walking. Some sort of a concert. Let's have a look. Might have just missed it. Just missed the Lions and Dragon Dance. But have we missed it? We noticed lots of people are still hanging around. So we walk up to where this black wire fence is, and of course, we look like tourists. As you can notice, these all look like locals, and we definitely look like tourists. And a gentleman came and spoke to us, and he told us he could get us VIP seats for the rest of the show. So as you can see here over to the right, there's a whole lot of little silver seats. And that's where they let all the children come in and sit with their family and VIPs. Now, of course, we weren't up the front, we were at the back, but we were so happy we hadn't missed the show. Let's have a look. So we have no idea what we're about to see, but this is the name of the show. We weren't really sure what this show was about, but apparently it was a competition between high schools. That's as much as we could understand. Now, as I mentioned, the children were all sitting in this area as well. So when there was a bit of a break, all the children wanted to come and speak to us. Of course, I have very blonde hair. They were very attracted to us because we were the tourists amongst the locals. As we sit patiently, we have no idea what's coming up next because remember, we think we have missed the lions and dragons. But wait, then this happened. So a simple walk along the water's edge turned into be some great entertainment. We really enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed talking to all the young children as well. They all like to practice their English. Well, the show finished and we make our way back to the hotel now because we're off to the airport tomorrow, another big day. Now, when we got back to our hotel, we put the TV on to see if there was anything on the news about the typhoon. And of course there was. So the typhoon is actually hitting Hanoi and Halong Bay tonight. And they're starting to predict it's going to be a super typhoon. So I'll keep you updated on what's going to happen. But for now, we've had no information. I'll ask tomorrow. Here we are again, 7 a.m. and it's 29 degrees. But today we're going to mainly be at the airport and flying. So we just have comfy clothes for travel, thongs on our feet, and we still have sunscreen and bug spray on. Here's our itinerary for today. Our bags are out at 7 a.m. for the luggage ferries to pick them up, and then we're on the coach at 7:45 heading for the airport. So the typhoon did hit Hanoi and Halong Bay last night, and at this stage we're still flying, everything's okay, and we're going to find out what happens from here once we arrive in Hanoi. Now they're still assessing all the damage and hopefully there's not too much because remember there's people that live there, so as much as we're tourists, it would be affecting the locals that live in Hanoi. Now we're not sure what we're heading into, but the staff from the hotel come and send us off with a smile and a wave, and we're heading off towards the airport. Now the airport's only about half an hour on the coach, so we should be there soon. Here we are at Hue Airport and we're going to be making our way to Hanoi. This is the airport and let's take a look at us getting in. Off the bus, and in we go. Now for this part, we have to take control of our big luggage. I'm going to speed up the walk into the airport, but I just want you to see it's all flat. There's no stairs in this bit. Once again, I'm happy that we're going with APT because we're being escorted through the airport with our tour guide. The ground here is all flat as you can see, and we're joining the wandering lines as we like to call them. And the check-in process is just as it is everywhere else. I'm going to turn off here because the next bit after this is security. Okay, we've come through the security, my nightmare, and here we are inside Hue Airport. So we're just going to find somewhere to sit, maybe wander around and have a look, but this is it. It's just very small. That's the airport. It wasn't long and they called us to line up to get on the plane. We then have to go down some escalators. Now, I'm not sure if there was a lift. I didn't see one. And this all happened so fast I couldn't even ask anybody. But we line up again, we make our way onto the plane, take our seats, and we're on our way to Hanoi. We no sooner got on and it was only an hour and a half later and we're getting off. But don't forget to watch where you're going. That is close.
Alright.
There's a step there. That was close. I nearly tripped them. Face planted it to the ground. I just wasn't expecting a step on the sky bridge. Gotta be careful. It was like a ramp up and it was hard to see because it was the same colour as the rest of the path. Okay, I'm going to speed it up so that you can see what the ground looks like and how far it is that we walk, but I'm sure you don't want to see it in the normal timing. Now, as much as we're travelling with the tour guide, he just gave us instructions to get off the plane, make our way, follow the crowd, to where the luggage is, and he'll meet us there. We're going off to the left. There's a sign. Down an escalator. Now you can see over to the right here. I'll give you a bit of a look. That's where baggage claim is. And you can see it's just a big open area, and if you want to, there's also stairs to walk down. Over to get our bags. Bathrooms over to the right as you come down the bottom of the escalator. See signs. And up this way to collect our bags. We're following the crowd again. Ah, yes, we see our tour guide down there. Okay, we'll collect our bag. We're going to number 6 down there and then out of here. I'll just show you over here, the way out. And it wasn't too long a walk, but if you need seats, there is some seats there. Okay, we've all got our luggage now and we're moving this way. Following the tour guide, all the fellow travellers. So our coach isn't going to be right here at the door waiting for us. As you can see here, this is the exit I showed you a minute ago, and we have to walk out and over into the car park. Now, I'm not sure how long it is, I'll tell you that at the end. Just taking a look here, there's shops and cafes in this part of the airport as well. But we haven't got time for that. We're getting on the coach and making our way to the hotel. Now, just looking at the ground, a few little dips and a dip up onto the pathway that you can pull your suitcase on. We're on tiled ground here. There is some cracks, as you can see, but we found that all over Vietnam. You really do have to keep a watch on where you're walking. Now, call me crazy, call me old. No, maybe just call me a princess. Now, this might be a good time to tell you I do look a little bit like a princess, don't I, with my husband taking both the suitcases. But he likes to do that, and I just take my carry-on. Now we've come to the end of the path here and we're just about to cross over the road, but there is a dip there to pull down your suitcase. It's not as bad crossing the road here, and the cars have stopped for us. And we're just coming across now to where the car park is. Still a bit further. You might be wondering if there's any signs of that typhoon. Bit cloudy, but there's no wind here at the moment. I can see some other coaches around, but no sign of us stopping just yet. The last bus. Okay, that took us about 6 minutes to walk here. It's nearly lunchtime and we've got about a half hour on the coach. And the bags go on. Now that we've landed, let's have a look at the map. We finished our time in Hue, we got on a flight and we flew up to Hanoi. Now we have 2 nights booked here at Hanoi. What happens after that? I don't know. We will have to be flexible and wait and see. This is just a sneak peek of the devastation around the airport from the typhoon. You can see the banana trees, they're laying down, some of them missing the tops. And up here you can see this large sign. The whole lot of it has been ripped off. Some of the larger trees in the background have been uprooted. And this is just around the airport. I'm not sure what we're going to be seeing. That's the sneak peek for now. You'll have to wait for the next video to see what happened. So have you liked this video? If you have, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up and then leave a comment down below if you have a comment or a question. And maybe you'd even like to share this with your friends. Are you traveling to Vietnam and Cambodia with a group of friends? Share it with them. Now, have you subscribed to my channel? If not, I'm not sure why. You don't want to miss these videos. So go along, subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you click on that notification bell so you know when my next video is coming out. So my next video is going to be all about what happened in Hanoi and Ha Long Bay with this typhoon. Who knows? Keep following.